Because at face value, you'll see this and you're like, well, if she didn't want to marry him, just say that. Or just, she could have done it in a nicer way. But this man is almost a stalker at this point. A man unwilling or unable to accept a woman telling him no will always be a red flag.
So there's a viral video that's gotten everybody talking of a girl that was proposed to and she slapped the man and walked out. Let's talk about it. Hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome back to my channel. How have you all been? Hope you guys are doing great. So the video you just saw now was a video of a lady that was proposed to and you guys saw what happened. She gave him twat woto and walked out. And this video has gone viral and has gotten a lot of people talking because a lot of people are saying that why would she do that? She could have easily just said no without putting her hands on him. Some people are saying that she could have saved him and herself any form of embarrassment and say yes and say no later. Why some people were saying that she was wrong. She could have just said yes and enjoy it. Like, who turns down a marriage proposal? But also, this young lady has come out to clear the air and give us full details of what the dynamic is in the relationship. Because initially, when I saw that video, I was like, interesting. And if some of you guys don't know, that was a Nigeria wedding. And you've seen a Nigeria woman turn down marriage. For me, I was like, there's more to this story. And yes, some people are saying that this is a skit. It is not a skit. Okay, this actually happened. Confirmed, it actually happened. But anyway, guys, let's go hear our own story about what happened, people's reaction to this viral video, and then we'll come back and talk more.
Ever since he told me that he was going to engage Mama, I was so happy. And it has been my wish that he would be happy. So, on the day of the engagement, he kept calling and saying, Ella, how's everything going? You know, you made me find out too that you are my friend. I never knew you were waiting for me. You were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only MC Doubtful.
Good morning, everyone. For some reason, I have been trending for the wrong reasons, which I am here to clear the air. Now, first of all, am I supposed to apologize? Yes, but will I apologize? No. And I won't apologize because Wizzy Ben deserves what he got.
Okay.
You can't be asking a lady out for the past how many months and she clear-cut told you to your face that she cannot date you and gave you reasons why she can't date you. One of the reasons is because he stays in Port Harcourt and I stay in Lagos. I don't do long-distance relationship. I have made this clear times without number. I have told him, guy, me, I cannot do anything with you because you stay far away from me. Why you go come person wedding?
Why would you come to someone's wedding?
A wedding that you and I we were invited to, and you're coming to propose to somebody. Like, does it make sense to you? Does it make sense? You won't disgrace yourself, I disgrace you now. Everybody is blaming me for it. You're the one who wanted to disgrace yourself. I did not disgrace you. I only gave you what you deserve. I beg now, can you, Edafe and Brian, stop all of this? You people should stop. Stop. Look at my DM. I'm getting death threats for Christ's sake now. I'm getting death threats because of you people. If Brian hadn't posted that video now and you and Edafe didn't respond to the video, how will I be getting those kind of threats?
Wow.
My friends now, my DM is filled up. Why? Because everybody is now seeing me as a bad person. Anybody who won't even see me as bad person self, you don't even consign me again self. See me as whatever you want to see me as. Like for this is not nice now. Lizzie Ben, I beg, I beg, I beg. Call your dogs. Put them on a leash, I beg. Let nobody enter my DM again to come and threaten me. May nobody come threaten me because of you. I don't talk am, and I won't say it again.
So earlier today, I see a video on TikTok here of a guy proposing to a girl at her friend's wedding. She turns around, see him, slaps him, and then walks away. And he's still like literally on his knees. I go to the comment section. Everybody's like talking about they're feeling sorry for him. How could she do that to him? And I'm thinking this is her boyfriend. I passed the video. First of all, I thought the video was fake because I'm just like, who would do that, right? And then I see a video of the girl stating that this is not even her boyfriend, that he's been trying to date her for a while. And one of the reasons that she didn't want to date him is because they live in a different state. Now he shows up at her friend's wedding and decide to propose to her at her friend's wedding. You're not even dated. So like that is so many red flags all at once. I don't condone, the hitting at the wedding, her hitting him, but now she's saying that she's getting threats and people are like, coming for her in her inbox. Like, what is wrong with people nowadays? Like, do you really think that it is okay? Like, first of all, this girl wasn't even dating. She wasn't even dating him. So why would you even show up at somebody's wedding and propose to somebody you're not even dating with a ring? A ring. He had a ring in his hand. And people think that is okay. And they're sending her threats. Like, crazy.
A man's proposal goes horribly wrong.
Thank you.
Now, this woman is currently going viral for this exchange that she had with a man who appeared to be proposing to her. And people are saying, is she mad because this man proposed to her at her best friend's wedding? And they were saying that she was ungrateful, or she could have waited until the event was over. She should have said yes in the moment and then went in the back and told him no. Come to find out, this woman never dated this man. This is not her boyfriend. This man has been relentlessly pursuing this woman, and she has told that man no on many occasions. So he took it among himself to fly and invite himself over to somebody else's wedding and try to pressure her into going out on a simple date with him. This man thought if he created enough of a spectacle, he could pressure her or force her hand or get the crowd to encourage her. Give him a chance. He's willing to go through all of this. But at its core, it's extremely manipulative. And that reveals a lot about his character or the lack thereof. And this is why context matters, because at face value, you'll see this and you're like, well, if she didn't want to marry him, just say that. Or just, she could have done it in a nicer way. But this man is almost a stalker at this point. A man unwilling or unable to accept a woman telling him no will always be a red flag.
So the girl who slapped the man that proposed to her at someone else's wedding, was that real or is that a skit? Yeah. I'm still trying to figure it out. I've watched like multiple videos and I'm like, I don't know if y'all are joking or this was serious. But there are things to unpack because first off, I'm one of those people who believe you don't need to propose to someone on a big day. Okay? Birthdays, weddings, celebrations for that person, but also not proposing at someone else's wedding because that day is not about you. Unless it's like the bride arranged it and once it's her friend who's the bridesmaid. To each their own. Now, secondly, I now saw the girls, because I saw the video. He was down on one knee. She said something, slapped him. Then I saw her video and she's like, am I wrong for slapping? Yes. Will I apologize? No. I said, oh, okay. Apparently, they're not even dating. He's been trying to date her, but she said she doesn't do long distance. She doesn't want him. How you proposing to someone you're not in a... You know what? Actually, that might be how they do things. You know what I mean? I don't know what is going on. But then... you could have just said no and walked away or like, said some slick stuff and walked away. Why did you need to slap? But I peeped. That man has some brotherhood because they said spraying that man money after he got slapped. But I'm hoping it's a skit.
No, it's not.
I'm hoping it's a skit.
Woke up this morning to a video of a woman slapping a man for proposing to her at her friend's wedding. Now, as soon as I saw this video, I decided to do some research. I went through the comment section. Everyone was mad at the lady. It was very interesting to me. I did some further research. The woman had made a video. She said the reason why it happened was because she had told this man for, months, weeks that she was not interested. And he decided that the best course of action was to propose to her at her friend's wedding. Now, me, after hearing this, I'm like, she could have actually drop kicked. I would have been fine with it. And I'm actually joking. I don't actually condone violence, but it was just very interesting for me to see that so many people in the comment section were like chastising her. They're like, yo, what she did was up. Everyone was isolating the incidents, like the incident. No one was looking at what led to it. And I feel like that's what a lot of people do. And on top of that, what they do is they tend to sympathize with the person receiving embarrassment, right? Because no one likes to be embarrassed. So they tend to sympathize with said person. But they don't understand that sometimes people put themselves in a situation to be embarrassed. So many people were talking about like, hey man, she shouldn't have slapped him, which is true. But then they were also saying that she could have just told him yes then, and then told him no later. First of all, how that could have resulted in a domestic violence situation. Because then he could have been like, how dare you? Because now he's probably thinking about, okay, I now have to go tell this people that you actually really told me no. You feel me? He can get mad and be like, why didn't you just people who are put in those situations never win. And we need to start being honest with each other as a society. Introduce people to the consequences of their actions. What that man did was manipulative and it was selfish. In reality, he was trying to make a surefire way to force her into a relationship that he knew she didn't want. When you do certain things, there's risk and there's reward. You know what I'm saying? You have to acknowledge the risk, which is that she was going to tell you no in some way, shape, or form, unless there's something wrong in your head. You feel me? And so she doesn't owe him saving his face. She doesn't owe him, any form of safety from embarrassment. And when you watch that video, the way it happens is she's in the middle of having a heartfelt moment with her friend. She's giving a speech, right? How many times will you get the opportunity to give a speech at your friend's wedding? At one particular friend. People don't get married every day, right? And while she's giving this speech, the men who are orchestrating the event see this dude get, on one knee behind her. And then they start to strip her of this moment. They seize the mic from her inevitably. They start playing music to cut her off. And then they tell her to, return to her seat so that she can then, you can imagine what's going on in her mind, right? So that she can then turn and see that the reason why all of this is happening to her is because of a man, a person she does not want. We can say, yes, that her reaction to negative events is not the best way to go about things. And she should work on those things, right? But I feel like we need to stop demanding of people perfection instantly whenever things go wrong. There's shared responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Did she worsen the situation? A little bit, we could split it 70-30, 70-30 that 30 her. But we also need to understand why she did what she did. Was it right? No, but she has reasons. We can't keep using for what is for some people a single moment of weakness to excuse another person's repeated moments of madness.
That woman who slapped that man for proposing to her while she was making a speech at her friend's wedding is the perfect example of violence begets violence. I have read the discourse where people are saying, why would she slap him? Why didn't she just say yes to him and then reject him after the fact? You people do not understand how violent that man was. That is peak manipulation. She has come out and shared a video that they're not dating. She says she can't do long distance. She has been rejecting him month after month for weeks. And this man decided, you know what? We're going to attend a wedding together. And because she's been rejecting me privately, I'm going to put her into a situation where I publicly propose to her in front of everybody and force her to say the opposite of what she really means because she doesn't want to be ashamed and she doesn't want to shame me. And he met his match that day because she decided, you want to be disrespectful? Oh yeah, chop disrespect. And she gave him back the disrespect. I think we need to start looking at psychological violence the way we look at physical violence. Both are absolutely wrong. You know what it is to be pushed into a corner? For any of you who have ever been forced to laugh about something that made you uncomfortable, forced to say yes to a situation that you want to say no to because somebody came and took away your autonomy by forcing you into a position publicly that would force you to have to go against what you want, you know how evil what that guy did was. Completely evil, vindictive, manipulative. Because now she says no. Even if she had just said no and didn't slap that man in the face, everyone would have been like, now what are you doing? Say yes now. Yelling at her, adding their irrelevant 2 cents, half a cent into a situation that didn't concern them. And if she had said yes, he'd hug her. She'd be fighting for her life internally because she just betrayed herself. And then what? Go and tell him after the fact that, I just said yes to you because everybody was there, but it's actually no. So that then he can now use rage and violence to deal with the fact that he's still going to be shamed. Because if he proposes to her in such a public setting, now everybody who was there feels like they're a part of this situation. So that means that they'll be asking, when's the marriage, when's this, when's that? And when he now has to say no to all of those people, he's still going to feel the shame that he felt live action. But now that it's been delayed and it's been like bolstered by a lie, the shame feels even worse. So people, I don't condone violence of any type. She shouldn't have slapped him, and he definitely shouldn't have put her in a position to make her feel like violence was the only way to get that message across. Stop being psychologically manipulative and then thinking that when someone then reacts physically, they're worse than you. And the most manipulative part about that is that people who don't know what you've been doing to that person's mind and they see that reaction are now going to think that that person is the unreasonable one. And not every time are we going to get the privilege to get a story or a backstory. But stop putting people in these crazy positions. Stop playing with people's minds. Stop thinking that everybody is going to save face more than give you the consequences you deserve. Because if you keep doing this, you might just get slapped in public. And it sucks, but it is what it is.
Interesting. Please go on down in the comment section. Share your thought. Love to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. But as always, please keep it respectful. You're on this channel. We're allowed to disagree, but we do it in a very, very respectful way. And let me know, do you think the way she reacted, she overdid it? Do you think that he deserved the slap? Do you think he deserved the rejection? Go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. So here's my own take. Like the last creator that just spoke that really said a lot of the things that I would personally want to say. But obviously this happened in Nigeria. And one point of view that I'm not seeing a lot of people talk about is the fact that I've come here so many times and I've said it so many times about how a lot of Nigerian women, they are very men-centered. And a lot of Nigerian women, if you're a Nigerian woman in the comment section, please let me know, okay? You can testify that a lot of Nigerian women still glamorize marriage, and a lot of Nigerian women put men and marriage on a pedestal. So marriage is almost like a favor or a blessing a man gives to most Nigerian women, not all, because some of us are clocking it now. And then seeing this video of how she wasn't sold to this. And I do understand, not that I agree with him, okay? So I do understand what would give him the audacity to go ahead and make that type of elaborate plan to do something like that with someone that has refused him over and over again. That's because the society he is in make him feel like just not do girlfriend. They don't want to do girlfriend. If it's marriage, she will consider it. She will do it, because there are a lot of Nigerian women that have considered. They don't want the guy, but because the guy offered marriage to them, a lot of them went ahead with it. And a lot of the time, it's even a thing that a lot of Nigerian men, when they want to get a Nigerian girl, which I feel like that pattern is beginning to fade out now. It's beginning to not work anymore. But the thing is that it's marriage and the get go, they will promise you. And a lot of girls will consider this man, even though they don't like this man, even though they don't want this man, because the man offered them marriage, because marriage is a prize and all that, a lot of Nigerian women will consider it. So I understand that's what will probably give him the audacity to do that. But what they are not clocking in, which is another thing that we're talking about here, that a lot of us women, we are having conversation, we are on internet space, we are talking, and we are realizing that we want what we want, and it's okay for us to what we want and set our standard, and our standard is not going to drop. That was a very manipulative move on his part, because he knows what he was doing. And because he knows the society where he is from, that glamorized marriage, that put marriage on a pedestal, that a lot of women in that society will pressurize that woman to have taken it. He did not expect what he was getting. You could see his friends were there and they were ready to do what they do. But let's even come back to our own reaction to the proposal. Because with a lot of people saying that she could have said yes and then go tell him no. For me, that's even the most dangerous one. Like, never, 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 never. And that's something I always talk about here, telling about women have to be very intentional. But once you're very intentional and you know who you are, there's another confidence that you're going to stand 10 toes on what you believe in. So I totally don't agree with that one. People saying that she could have said yes and then go say no later. That could have cost her her life. And then some people say she could have just quietly say no and walk away. Which for me, I'll say that's the most reasonable one so far. Say no and then just walk away. But also what we're not considering is that, do you know she was standing there giving a speech at her friend's wedding and she was interruptedly cut off because of this guy, which already she looked already confused and a little bit embarrassing because she did not understand why they were cutting her off. So that has even thrown her own energy off and like what's going on? Why are they cutting me off? And I can even like I can say that for myself personally that I know I'll feel some type of way and probably there'll be a lot of emotions going on with me that probably I'll be already irritated. And then not turning back and realizing that this is coming from a man that he has decided to want to embarrass me, even though I've told him repeatedly that I don't want this relationship, is mind blowing for me. Anyway, so I feel like me personally, you guys know, like I will not condone any type of violence. Like putting your hands on anybody is not allowed. So she shouldn't have even put her hands on him. But like she said, she should have apologized. Yet, will she apologize? No. The truth is that when you do something, be ready for the consequences that comes with it. And as much as you have control over your own reaction, but you don't have control over other people's reaction. So you should have known what that is. And so that whole manipulation that I was trying to do to get her to say yes to marriage when she has even boldly said no to relationship, like, bruh. Anyway, guys, you guys let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comment section. But as always, please keep it respectful. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go ahead, feel free, share this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, smash the like button because this helps YouTube to push up my content for more people to see, and that'll be you supporting this channel and this girl here. So go on and do that. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.